Well, tensions continue to escalate on the Ukraine-Russia border with the shelling of a Ukrainian kindergarten overnight. 2 staff members were injured in the blast, which destroyed at least one room of the childcare centre. The US says it's the surest sign yet that Russia is about to invade. Well, Bryce Wilson is a photojournalist who's been based in Ukraine for the past 7 years. He joins us now from there. Bryce, you've been to that bombed-out kindergarten and it sounds like no children were actually injured. But that must have been a pretty lucky escape.
Yeah, that's right. I think actually in many places along the contact line, civilians are living at constant risk because primarily the war is now at a point where indirect fire from artillery, mortars, rockets, sniper fire as well. People are constantly exposed to risk, and it really was by sheer chance that all of the children who were at the kindergarten at that time were eating breakfast. The incident occurred around 9 a.m. and they were at the opposite side of the building when the mortar struck the outside of the building, and then another round flew over and landed between some play equipment, which again, you know, maybe if this was a warmer days and children were outside in the mornings, it could have been an incredibly catastrophic event.
Russian-backed separatists are accusing Ukraine of attacking civilians. Ukraine says the separatists are responsible. Is it easy for you reporting on the ground to actually get to the truth of it?
It's actually a very, funny in a sad way question, because even that term, Russia-backed separatists, is part of that information warfare. The reality is that they are Russia's local forces in occupied territories of Ukraine. And in the 7 years of covering this conflict, I've had a lot of situations where you don't know what to believe. And I believe that's deliberate because when you can discredit things that are being said or cause people to question absolutely everything, you don't know what the truth is. When I was on the ground, I analysed the direction of the mortars. I spoke with people who were there, including civilian witnesses that weren't interviewed by other journalists who attended later in the day. And in my opinion, the attack was more than definitively launched from currently occupied territories of Ukraine.
Bryce, the US is warning that Russia may invade within days. We're seeing all these reports of massive troop build-ups on the border. Does it feel where you are at the moment that a full-on invasion is imminent?
There has been a significant increase in fighting very close to where I am right now. Actually, after this interview, I'm about to go to the front line and do more reporting. There have been an increase in fighting that hasn't been seen since 2018. People here, I think, are starting to understand and maybe feel that this isn't just scaremongering from Western media. In my opinion, based on my experience working here, I'm seeing a similar pattern to what I observed in 2017 when there was another significant flashpoint event and there were high levels of casualties, civilian and military, and extreme damage to civilian infrastructure. So based on what I'm seeing, whether there will be a mass-level invasion by the Russian Federation or another invasion into Ukraine, because there's been war here for 8 years now, I do suspect that there will potentially be a significant escalation of fighting in the Donbass, where war is still waging and happening nearly daily, as we saw when that kindergarten was struck. And for the record, there were absolutely zero military positions around that school. There was no reason for it to be attacked. Soldiers that I spoke to suspected that it was to prompt a provocation, which would give Russia or its local forces in Ukraine a casus belli or a reason to launch that invasion. So it remains to be seen what will happen, but at the moment it does seem like things are really shaky.
Bryce, take care of yourself when you head out to the front line after this. Thanks so much for your reporting.
Appreciate the opportunity. Take care.